Good morning, Longhorns. Can I get your attention, please? Thank you very much. Today we're here to memorialize the lives of two people and contemplate the effects of drinking and driving. You're going to hear the word choice and choices a lot today. And I want you to really think about what that word means as you hear the stories and see what's going on. Every 15 minutes is named because every 15 minutes someone dies due to drunk driving. We're very lucky to be able to say that that number, that time frame has actually changed because of the information and the awareness that people, like the people you're going to meet today, and the work that they've done. But it is always a choice. Walking in now, or should be walking in any minute now. Walking in now are students that represent people that are killed every 15 minutes due to drunk driving. In front of me here are two caskets representing the people who we lost yesterday due to drunk driving. Justine Zayers and Mr. Roland J.R. Arias. At this time, we're going to watch a short video that tells us the story that brought us here today.
Can I get a bounce or a touchdown?
Very pretty.
Oh, love it. Do you love it?
Yeah, I knew it.
You knew it, huh?
Wait, are you twins?
Alright guys, so tomorrow, don't forget, you have your test in Argentina and Latin America. One of the questions we put randomly, so just be ready with whatever outlines you're preparing and your rubrics, ready to go tomorrow.
I'll ask around. I'm on Instagram. I feel like it would just be worth for when you guys wanna go study tomorrow. I don't know. I think we already covered. I think we covered it all. Like during class, like we were reviewing. I don't know.
Yeah, we also would rather make it back in time than not. And like,
okay, sorry.
I want to go to Abba today.
Hey, will you guys please study with us at lunch?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, tomorrow meet at my car. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Bye guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So if we're studying tomorrow, should I like something extra? Yeah. Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
Got it.
Hell yeah.
Hello? Okay, do you need me to go get her? Okay, I'll try to find coverage then. Okay, bye.
So we got like 15 minutes left, guys. We could do it. We gotta do it.
Not ready for this. Okay, I brought a speaker so we can listen to music while we
So
study.
I was just thinking.
Yep. Hey,
Oh, hey,
no.
hold up.
Chloe.
I'll take the first.
Really?
You guys really?
Yeah.
We're like in the middle of a park.
Everyone take a shot. This will help us.
Pass it down. Pass it down.
Here.
I don't want this.
I don't. I
Yeah, no, take it.
She's driving us.
She's fine. A little bit more.
No.
Yeah, between these.
No.
I've got this.
Don't.
Okay, are we gonna go back to setting your minutes? Okay,
I really need to study. You guys should too.
Emma, come on.
you guys, leave her.
Emma, come on.
Come on. Emma,
Don't be like that.
Come on, you guys do it
just
too.
one.
One.
Okay, ready?
Wait.
Emma,
Let me get on this. Come on, do it with us. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Emma. Really, Emma? You're better than that.
Come on, do this. Yeah.
Come on, just one more. Literally one more. Okay. Chill.
You spilled. Oh, you're spilling all over me.
Sorry. I'm gonna get a lap. Oh my god.
All right, everyone. So I have picked question number 3 for the Latin America essay that you're going to write. I'm going to hand out the rubrics. I actually need to head out because my daughter's not feeling too well. So Mr. Fay is going to come in, and he'll be here to while you guys write the essay. Okay?
I'm gonna try to call him.
Text Wendy.
Guys, we like didn't study.
I got this in the bag. Hold on. McKenna just texted me. She says that he's already passing out the test.
Really?
We should go.
We've been here for like a minute.
You know what, Jorge? We should walk.
Walk? Really?
Yeah, we should walk. She just had
too
to
long.
walk.
You're gonna miss the whole period.
10
No,
to
we
15
gotta go.
minutes.
Okay, we're going.
Let's go.
No.
Literally. How are we gonna take the test? I know how to turn it.
I'll turn it
Fine.
and any data that is shared with other patients.
Good morning to you, Ms. Moss. We're here because of you. And it's often that when we're here for people on cases like this, they think, wow, look at all the people that came just for me. But this is not a good day. This is not a day to celebrate anything, because we're here because of what you decided to do one tragic day at school. I see you as someone who's selfish, and here's what I mean by that. You decided, despite the best efforts of society to convince you otherwise, to drink and drive. The fact that you had alcohol in your system, put people in your car, and then got in an accident doesn't surprise me. It never does. That's predictable. The fact that you got in an accident and killed someone is tragic. But again, it's not a surprise, because that's what happens when you can't control your vehicle. And I say these comments now for the people that are gathered here today. I apologize in advance because I know I can't do justice today. My sentence is only designed to give some measure of punishment to Ms. Moss, but justice would be somehow being able to bring back your loved ones, and I just can't do that. There's nothing I'll say or do today that will be able to change that reality. And so for that, I apologize in advance. But what I hope we're able to accomplish today is to help you understand, Ms. Moss, the severity of your actions.
This is all my fault. I should have never put us in that situation. You're like my friend. I ruined your life. It's gone because of this. I'm paralyzed. And my life's only changed forever. And I want you to know that I forgive you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Yu or anybody else like to make a statement at this time, they may.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. My beloved Justine is no longer with us because of a bad decision that has caused harm to not just me, but to countless others. I will never hear her voice again. She will never graduate high school, and she will never give me or anyone else a hug ever again. Emma, you have made a horrible choice to drive after drinking. And I cannot forgive you now. But I hope in time I will be able to forgive you. Thank you.
You've broken people's lives in a way that won't ever be mended. And I imagine if you had been standing at your school that day, armed with the AR-15, and you were shooting at people that drove by, and you managed to kill a classmate, kill a teacher, and paralyze another classmate, you would have done the same harm in almost the same way. Because by getting behind the wheel of your vehicle and driving and not paying attention after drinking, you caused all the same harm. And so for those reasons, I see this as an aggravated case, and I'm going to sentence you appropriately. So as to count one, a violation of Penal Code Section 191.5, that's gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. I'm going to order that probation be denied, and you're committed to the Department of Corrections for a total term of 13 years. That's the upper term of 10 years for count one, and an additional 3 years consecutive for the true finding of the allegation of the Penal Code Section 1192.7. So that's a total term of 13 years in the Department of Corrections. You've got credit for 1 day actual, 02933.1 credits for a total of 1 day credit. You're ordered to pay a restitution fine in the maximum amount of $10,000. Additional restitution fine of $10,000 will be stayed unless your parole is revoked. You're ordered to pay a court security fee of $40, immediate critical needs account fee of $30, criminal justice administration fee of $154. I'll reserve on the issue of restitution to the victims in this case. Mr. Wilski, does your client waive her presence for any future restitution hearings?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll show a 977 waiver as to restitution. All fines, fees, and restitution, once ordered, will be paid pursuant to Penal Code Section 2085.5. You're ordered to submit to DNA testing pursuant to Penal Code Section 296. That'll be the order. Please go with my bailiff.
Place your hands behind your back.
I want you to take a moment today to think about how this impacted the other families that were involved, because they've got loved ones that aren't going to have to worry about how much time they're going to be away before they come back to their families. They've got loved ones that won't ever come back to them. And for that, you're the person responsible.
At this time in our memorial service, I'm going to ask Ms. Erica Glennon to speak on behalf of the staff member we lost, Mr. J.R.
There's one word that truly describes my friend J.R. Arias. It would have to be genuine. Every task he takes on, every relationship he has, and every way in which he lived his life was genuine. Roland J.R. Arias went home on May 2nd, 2019 to his Lord after being killed by a drunk driver. This senseless death left his wife Veronica without her soulmate, but his children without their father, and his parents are forced to watch their son be buried. His sister and brother can no longer count on his confidences, or his counsel, or his friendship. Our students, past and present, are left with a hole in their hearts, and his many other friends, including me, have a loss that we will never be able to understand. J.R. was the oldest son of Rolando and Eloisa, and as a Navy brat, he was born in Texas, but moved to San Diego after his first year. His sister Adele and his brother Larry came later, and his family grew up with much love in their house. J.R. is a devout Catholic, and the church was a very big part of his life, from birth through the last day of his life here on this earth. Even if you didn't know what religion J.R. practiced, you could see that he had a moral compass and that his faith was strong and true. J.R. graduated from Orange Glen High School, the first in his family to go to college, and while in high school was involved in track, CSF, and AVID. He graduated from Cal State San Marcos and started his teaching career at RBV in 2004 and 2005. I remember when he started, he was so shy. We used to just tease him because he was so shy. He was so easy to make turn red. And to be honest, that kind of stayed through the rest of his life. He was super easy to tease, but never upset that he was the subject of a joke. And starting in 2007, I started hearing a lot of stories about this beautiful woman in his life. And that was his Veronica. And every time he would tell a story about her or a date they had gone on, he would giggle and he would beam. It was obvious that Veronica was his true love and his soulmate. And true to his love for Rancho, he proposed marriage to her during Ranch Review. Luckily for everybody, she accepted. Their family grew when Isaac was born in 2011. And Sophia came along in 2013. His children are in his every thought, every day. Isaac was his mini-me if you've ever seen him. He looks just like him. And Sophia was full of sass, and he talked about how he was going to survive the teenage years with her. He loved them so much that even though he doesn't like pets, he gave in to giving them not one dog, but two. J.R. helped take care of his mother-in-law, who sometimes stays with them, and all of his friends at any time they needed him. Here at RBV, J.R. did everything. My class knows that every single time I can't work my projector or my computer, I just text him and over he comes. He actually started here teaching English and then moved to social studies where he taught almost every subject that we have. He's also an avid teacher and has helped kids become the first in their family to go to college, drawing from his own experiences. He's our tech guru here, and he's a tremendous teacher, and I don't know any student that's ever had him that hasn't been deeply impacted by not only his immediate dedication to the subject that he teaches, but also his genuine love and interest in all of his students. What J.R. was to me, I can't even begin to say. He was a steady force in my life every day. Over the last few months, I've had some personal struggles And he's been the guy that you can talk to and says anything you need. And it's not hollow words with him. It's anything you need. He was a friend who had time and really listened to anybody he came across. He was genuine. There was no need for this accident to happen. Ironically, JR doesn't drink, not a drop. And in his heart, he would be able to forgive the woman that did this. But I'm not there. I don't think you can look at those two kids and imagine what their life is going to be without their dad. And find it in your heart to forgive. JR, I'll miss you. Lots of you.
Thank you, Ms. Lennon. At this moment, I'd like to call up Ms. Ayers to eulogize her daughter and her students.
I'm sorry, this is a lot harder than I thought. To my dearest Justine, born in the morning of December 20th, 2001. I remember that day so vividly. The minute I saw your cute face, button nose, full head of thick black hair, I was in love. Being born right before Christmas, I remember thinking to myself how lucky I was to be holding the greatest gift in the whole world that Christmas morning. Although initially your dad was hoping for a boy, he was the first one to grab you and kiss you. He wouldn't let you out of his sight. When your own grandmother asked to hold you, you hesitated and asked why. He couldn't get enough of you. As time went on, your vibrant and infectious personality and smile lit up a room wherever you went. You were wise beyond your years, with witty comebacks and jokes for days. Today, more than ever, I miss your sarcasm, your smile, and outgoing personality. I miss your hugs, your extremely loud voice, and your spontaneity to pick up and go anywhere, anytime. One of my fondest memories of you is when we woke up one Saturday morning and decided on a whim to get random snacks and jump on a plane to El Paso, Texas. No reason at all. We stayed one night and flew back the next day. You made me laugh the whole trip. I miss that so much. Or the times you would randomly break out in a dance to your favorite song. Didn't matter where, you just did it. I miss that, and I miss you very much. My entire body, bones, heart, and soul have ached every single day since you have been gone. It still seems unreal and like a nightmare I will wake up from at any moment. To hug, to kiss, to laugh, and cry with. I honestly don't know if I will ever get over this because it hurts so much. So I wrote something for Justine today in hopes that she can hear me. So Justine, this is for you. Justine, I wish I could see you one more time come walking through the door, but I know that's impossible. I will hear your voice no more. I know you can feel my tears and you don't want me to cry. Yet my heart is broken because you had to die. I pray that God will give me strength and somehow get me through as I struggle with the heartache that came when I lost you. They say there is a reason, they say that time will heal, that neither time nor reason will change the way that I feel. For no one knows the heartache that lies beneath our smiles. No one knows how many times we have broken down and cried.
We want to tell you something so there will be no any doubt. You're so wonderful to think of, Justine, but so hard to live without. Love, Mom.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to invite up Emma Moss to read a farewell letter.
If you asked me a few months ago what I had planned for life, I would have talked about how excited I was to move to LA and go to music school. I would tell you that I wanted to be married by 25, have kids at 27, and live happily ever after. But that won't happen. I would have went on and on about my dreams of making music and how everyone would know my name. I never considered everyone knowing my name for something like this. I always told myself that I would never be one of those people who drove drunk or got in a car with someone who was drunk because that was the most idiotic thing anyone could ever do. In a split-second decision, I ruined my life. I ruined Chloe's life. But I took Justine and Mr. Arias' life. Not only that, I ruined the lives of all the families involved in each one of these people's lives. The mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, and the children. I cannot be sorry enough. I don't have the words to describe the guilt and the pain that I feel. My apology will never be enough. My apology will not bring back their loved ones. And I will have to live with that for the rest of my life. 4,745 days, 677 weeks, 156 months, 13 years. I'll be 31. 31 will be the age that comes to mind when anyone asks me my plans after graduation. 31 will be the number that I will never forget. It is the age that I will finally be free. Finally be able to make a life for myself. But I won't truly be free. There will never be one day that goes by that I don't remember what I did, the people that I hurt, and the people that I killed. Sometimes I wish it was me in their place. I'm the one that made that horrible decision, and they paid the price. My life will be on hold for the next 13 years, but theirs will be paused in time forever. They will never get their lives back. Every time I do anything, I will think back and wonder what I did to deserve this. Will I be able to fall in love when I took that from someone? Will I be able to go get ice cream with my dad when I took that from someone? Please learn from my mistakes. Please think about this, think about me, think about Chloe, think about Justine and Mr. Arias. Think about us before you ever think you're okay to drive, because I thought it was fine too. Make a life for yourself, pursue your passions, and live every day like it's your last. Live for the people whose lives got taken, and don't take this life for granted, because there are some who will never get theirs back. Thank you.
Anybody who's been in teaching or education for a while has some type of every 15-minute story. Today, to share his every 15-minute story is California Highway Patrol Officer Mark Latula.
Before I begin, I'd like to throw out a few more thank yous. One, to the school administration. Two, to the parents of our involved participants. Thank you. And finally, to these role players that brought this to life. missing our perfect guy to fix this, it sounds like, right? Welcome again to the Every 15 Minutes program. Rancho Buena Vista Longhorns, thank you for your attention yesterday. Yesterday was a mock crash, a representation of what people like me and firefighters respond to every day and what we see every day. My name is Mark Latulip. I'm the Public Information Officer for the California Highway Patrol Oceanside area. The Every 15 Minutes program began in the early 90s. When the program began, there was a DUI-related crash, including a death every 15 minutes. Today, after thousands of programs, that number has improved to more like 50 minutes. While that is an improvement, it is still unacceptable. Today, I want to share with you why I am passionate about stopping DUI. I want to share with you how driving under the influence has profoundly affected my life. I've been a CHP officer for 22 years. Through those years, I've seen and dealt with DUI in many forms, including alcohol, prescription drug, and recreational drug. On the job, I've watched all levels and types of people make the mistake and crime of driving under the influence. I once heard a judge describe DUI as a crime of arrogance, meaning it is a crime we all know that can lead to catastrophic results, yet we still take the chance. The arrogance is when we make a decision we know is wrong. We lie to ourselves about the possibilities and ramifications of what could happen. Is driving under the influence similar to playing Russian roulette? Every time a person drinks and drives, they run the risk of hurting others and themselves, all because of a choice. To drive under the influence is a choice. It's a choice between responsibility and irresponsibility. What does each of us have in our pocket? A phone. Some of us carry two. I do. What can you get with a phone? Uber, Lyft, taxi, mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, friend, neighbor, son, son, daughter, niece, nephew, coworker. All easy options to safely get us home with either a little pre-planning or the swipe of a screen. This is called responsibility. Previous to November of 2017, the only effect on my life from DUI was that I had lost two coworkers, Sean Nava and Steve Lennon, in 2000 and 2001. You probably have seen their signs on I-5 through Carlsbad. They were doing their job when they paid the ultimate sacrifice. Other than that, DUI in my life was a problem of annoyance, paperwork, and inconvenience. DUI drivers are sometimes rude. They smell. Sometimes they want to fight. I had a view of DUI that was limited to my work responsibilities. There were other aspects of DUI that I didn't have a view of. The effect that drunk driving has on communities, families, and friends. When a DUI crash occurs, the effect goes far beyond those involved in the crash, those cars that are in the street. I'd like to show you how DUI has affected my life, and it was all because of someone else's choice. My point of view was changed on November 11th, 2017. I'd like to take a moment and introduce you to my family. Pictured are Scott, Nancy, 14-year-old Jackson, and 10-year-old Kira. Scott and I are cousins through our fathers. We grew up in Escondido. He went to Escondido High, I went to Orange Glen. We both live in Valley Center, near each other. Jackson and my son go to school together. Kira and my daughter are separated in age by 1 year. On November 11th, 2017, at approximately 3:30 in the afternoon, I received a phone call from a hospital worker in Austin, Texas. He started asking me questions about my cousin Scott and if I knew him. At first, I thought it was a scam. I asked questions and they wouldn't reply to my questions. This person on the phone advised me that Scott had been in a traffic accident and was badly injured. She added that Kira was okay with minor injuries. Kira was okay with minor injuries, but was in a separate hospital, all by herself. If you're confused, so was I. I recalled a conversation with my cousin the previous week when Scott told me that they were going to visit Texas. This led me to ask the question, where were Nancy and Jackson? The social worker refused to provide any information about Nancy and Jackson. Knowing what I know about hospitals and their reluctance to provide information, I asked if Nancy and Jackson were dead. She responded with silence. The silence was confirmation to me that they had died in a crash, all because of a choice. I hung up the phone with my wife, and my wife had already been purchasing plane tickets to Austin, Texas. I recalled more about my last conversation with Scotty, who told me that they were going to visit Austin, Texas to purchase a rental property. Scott and Nancy had a couple of other rental properties. They were using them to secure their children's future. They were doing things right. I called Nancy's mother and father, people I hardly know, and had to tell them that their daughter and grandson had been killed in the crash, and that Scott was in critical condition. I was able to tell them that Kira was okay, but all alone. I hung up the phone at 4:10 and I was on a 5:20 flight to Austin, Texas, the longest flight that I've ever taken, all because of a choice. I arrived in Austin, Texas, and I rented a car. I drove to the hospital where Kira was. Social workers from the Austin Police Department had stayed with her until my arrival. When I arrived, she saw me and smiled, and then cried. I gave her the news that her mother and brother were dead, and that her father was badly injured, all because of a choice. Only after I arrived was I able to fully understand what had happened. On November 11, 2017, an accused drunk driver, and I say accused because he hasn't had his day in court yet, was traveling on the freeway in the opposite direction of Nancy, Scott, Jackson, and Kira. They were headed back to the airport for their return flight home. Because of how drunk he was, over double the legal limit, he crossed the center divider through a hole in the guardrail, directly into the path of Scott, Nancy, Jackson, and Kira. The vehicles crashed head-on, killing Nancy and Jackson and severely injuring Scotty. Kira, seated in the right rear of the vehicle, survived the crash with minor bruising. Literally a miracle. Kira suffered minor injuries physically, bruising to the hip, shoulder, and arm, but far worse than physical injuries. Kira saw the carnage and results of the crash, causing far deeper injuries, all because of a choice.
The family's broken. Only on CBS Austin, we sat down with a relative of the mother and son killed in a head-on crash.
He's a police officer, and he has a clear message to anyone thinking about driving drunk. CBS Austin's Christian Flores spoke with him tonight.
For the LaTulip family,
There's a hole that never will be filled.
they're still trying to make sense of the crash that killed two of their family members.
Nancy is strong, so strong. With Jackson, he and my son could not be more opposite.
Mark LaTulip says his cousin-in-law and nephew did not need to die in this crash. They were heading to the airport to return home to California when police say Guy Brasted, an accused drunk driver, crashed into them head-on, killing Nancy LaTulip and her 14-year-old son Jackson. Her 10-year-old daughter has since been released from the hospital, but her husband is still fighting for his life.
The family's broken. We have a 10-year-old up there that her mom is gone, her brother is gone.
According to police, Braston's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. LaTulip is too familiar with these crashes. He's a highway patrol officer in California and has given presentations on drunk driving.
I feel like I'm living in
WI crash can destroy a family.
Your ride is this far away. Lyft, Uber, Or how about just go old-fashioned responsibility?
Right now, the Latul family is grateful for all the support they've gotten, but they have a message for the driver who changed their lives.
If for any reason he's ever out again, learn from this.
In Austin, Christian Flores, CBS Austin.
My cousin Scott. My cousin Scott sustained massive head injuries. Doctors tried amazing measures to try to save him. Their efforts failed, and a week later, on the 17th, he died. He lasted 1 week. Enough time to allow friends and family to visit and say goodbye, all because of a choice.
Look, from California is now the third person to die after a suspected drunk driving crash. Scott Latulip was taken off life support and died in the hospital this morning. His wife and teenage son were also killed on Highway 183. CBS Austin's Christian Flores is live from Northwest Austin tonight. Christian, this is just more awful news for this devastated family.
Yeah, well, just another awful development and blow to this family. They've been through so much this week, but are hoping people can learn from what police are calling a drunk driving crash.
Family is trying to be strong.
After fighting for his life this week,
We're all heartbroken.
Scott Latulip's family took him off life support this morning, and he died.
Just take it 1 minute at a time, and we will persevere.
His 10-year-old daughter, Kira, is the only one in the family who survived this crash.
He fought hard these last few days to give Kira a chance to say goodbye.
Scott is the third Latulip family member who has died from this crash on 183 Saturday.
Scotty was an extremely unique person. He helped everyone.
His wife Nancy and 14-year-old son Jackson died at the scene. We spoke with Scott's cousin Mark earlier this week.
But we need Scotty to pull through.
That unfortunately did not happen. Police say Guy Braxton had a blood alcohol level more than twice the legal limit when he lost control of his car, crashing head-on with the Latulips. The family was here on vacation and were driving to the airport to return home to California at the time of this crash.
He destroyed that little girl's family, and she has family beyond that, and we will take care of her. I will make sure she's okay. But he's destroyed a little girl's family.
Kira is now staying with family. Mark Latulip tells us she's going to need all the support she can get now.
Her whole world is now never will be the same.
APD tells us they expect to add charges for Braxton. He's scheduled to appear in court December 8th. Reporting live in North Austin, Christian Flores, CBS Austin News.
The DUI driver was ejected from his vehicle and sustained generally minor and moderate injuries. He survived the crash, spent 4 days in the hospital, and was arrested under suspicion of DUI, all because of a choice. I spent 5 days in Austin, where the community expressed outrage regarding the incidents. I did news interviews about the crash, trying to give a face to the tragic story. My professional life and personal life became one, all because of a choice. 10-year-old Kira returned home to Valley Center to an empty home and a broken-hearted community. Scott and Nancy were active members in the community. Scotty was a beloved teacher at Valley Center High. Nancy was always active at TPC and the kids' schools. Jackson was a freshman at Valley Center High with my son. They had PE together. The community lost 3 amazing people and is still heartbroken.
Friday night football went a little differently for Valley Center tonight. A tragic car accident in Austin, Texas left one of their own mourning the loss of her entire family. So the community came together for 10-year-old Kira Latulip. NBC7's Mackenzie Maynard was at the game and the visuals that followed.
It's certainly a tragedy, but tonight is focusing their love and prayers on Kira.
Friday night's pregame was unlike any other this season. Because in the middle of that huddle, a family mourning, and a little girl who was never without her mom, brother, and dad,
There at midfield, we have our Valley Center Jaguars and our honored guest for the Tulip and Enos family.
It started with a moment of silence for the Tulip family, a prayer circle, and an unforgettable coin toss.
And the officials have revealed this hero Tulip.
Escorted by the captains, the shroud embraced her strength as she made her way. Kira had just returned to California Thursday night, the Valley Center community making... Oh.
Got any hands? Memories. And they want to...
Driving back to the airport after a vacation in Austin, Texas, when they were hit head-on by a suspected drunk driver last Saturday. Here, Valley Center High were killed immediately. Her dad, Scott, a teacher at the school, was just taken off life support Friday.
Thank you, God, for our miracle cure. We will protect and cherish you as our little pieces, Scotty, Nancy, and Jackson forever. Stay strong.
A tragedy for this family, but a reason for the community to come together and support now and for years to come.
And some of those surrounding Kira tonight, her grandparents as well as her uncle. Reporting in Valley Center, Mackenzie Maynard, and DC7.
Kira returned to a life forever changed. One missing the most important aspects of her. The most important things in her life vanished in a single moment, all because of a choice. Because of DUI, what would Kira miss out on? Her father walking her down the aisle, her mother holding her children, her brother's love and protection. Think beyond Kira for a moment. What about the family, the brothers, the sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, coworkers, communities, all affected by loss that wasn't necessary? The list goes far beyond those in the crash. Think of the things that you would miss if your world was changed as drastically, all because of a choice. Scott and Nancy honored me and my wife by asking us to care for their most precious possessions, Jackson and Kira, should something like this happen. Jackson was robbed of a life full of potential, never given the chance to shine as I know he would have. Kira now lives with my family. I'm honored to take this responsibility, but it's one I never truly wanted. Kira is doing very well for losing so much. I miss Scott, Nancy, and Jackson. I'm reminded of them every day in Kira, but they should still be here. I shouldn't be telling this story. Kira should still have them. None of this was needed. Right now, think of the worst thing that could happen to you. I think the worst thing that could happen to me is my closest circle, my wife, my son, my daughter, and now Kira, were to be gone in an instant. No proper goodbye, no I love you, no hug. Losing them all in one moment would be the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Who might you miss like that? In my family story, you don't want to meet anyone, any of the people involved in it. You don't want to be the guy that did this. You don't want to be Scott, Nancy, and Jackson. They're not here with us anymore. You don't want to be Kira, forging forward without parents' love and guidance. You don't want to be me, the fill-in who's trying to keep his family together while welcoming a child who's lost everything and has every reason to become a victim and let her world fall apart. The worst thing that could happen to anyone happened to her, all because of someone else's choice. It's important to mention that my story is not the only one. There are thousands of stories like mine, all because of choices. I have made the choice to tell this story. This is the 85th time that I have told this story. I'm still unable to make it through without breaking. I don't say that to bring attention to me. I say it to show you how much someone else's choice can hurt. DUI is a crime of lack of self-control, a bad choice that can have catastrophic consequences. DUI is a crime of arrogance. I believe most people in this world are good,
good people make bad choices. Don't be the good person who makes a bad choice. I challenge you to make the right choice. My hope is that by telling you this story, one of you in this room will think of these words as pictures or remember me choking up, and you can remember that you have a choice. I hope you think of this moment of this presentation, you make the right choice. You plan ahead. Step up as a designated driver. Use a rideshare option. Or maybe it's you who sees someone making the wrong choice and helps them. DUI is completely preventable. There are more options than ever. All it is a choice. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Officer. Those of you standing or sitting in front of this door here, I need you to move a little bit because we're going to be moving on to the final portion of today's memorial service. At this time, I'd like to ask the representatives from Eternal Hills to come forward, please. I also asked for one of our every 15 minutes participants, Emma Woolley, to please come and sing Amazing Grace as we begin the recessional of the caskets.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
I've been doing the every 15 minutes program since 2006. Can't do math. And it never fails to affect me. I want to thank everybody that was involved. And please remember this message today. And at this time, I'd like to call up our principal, Mr. Schindler, for our closing statement.
Thank you, Mr. Loza. This is my third time bringing this program to RBV since I've been here the last 7 years. I am hoping between yesterday and today that you got the message loud and clear. We have prom coming up in about a week. We are hoping you listen, you heard, and you make the right choice. As I've always told you, do the right thing. You all know the right thing. Do the right thing. Seniors, I want to see you on June 6th. I want you there. So make good choices. Do the right thing. Sorry. I also want to thank the students, the parents, for participating in this important, extremely important message to get across to you. The time they put in, what they went through to do this, so that you get the message. and don't end up here. I want to thank Highway Patrol Officer Mark Julep for being part of this the last 2 days, helping organize, talking to you this morning. We appreciate it. Also, thank you to our sheriff, our SRO, for supporting us, the fire department, Eternal Hills Memorial Park, all the families and loved ones of our student participants, the family of J.R. Arias. Thank you, Ms. Glennon. Vista Unified for supporting RBV, supporting me to do this program and bring it to you. Our student production team, thank you, Mr. Tompkins and all the students for filming the last 2 days, and recording this for us. Thank you to Antonio Mendez, Melissa Newman. And I also want to thank, a huge thank you to Mr. Pei, Mr. Loza, and Mr. Smuts for all the time they put in organizing, filming, supporting, putting this thing together for you and bringing it to us to see in all that extra time. I appreciate all of their time. And last, I've said this before, I am here for you guys. I don't do this job for me. I do this for you. That you get your education, you graduate, and you get to go on and do good things and make all those good choices. This is my last year at RBV, my last time doing this, and I appreciate everybody who participated, all of you guys for doing this, and I hope in the future that RBV continues to do this program for students. So with that, that is the end of our program for the 2 days. A huge thank you to you guys for listening. We're going to have you guys exit. And you'll go ahead and just go to nutrition, and then remember we're on block schedule. You'll have period 3 after that. Thank you.